Hello friends, this is Ratnam. This is a continuation of lesson carboxylic acids. We are in the last session discussing the chemical properties of carboxylic acids. We had a discussion on what are carboxylic acids, the acidic nature of carboxylic acids, the preparation methods of carboxylic acids, and now it is the chemical properties regarding the uh, different properties we are discussing. And out of that, we are now taking Hunts-Dicker reaction, how COH group interacts with other parts of the reagents and how it gives different products. Here, this is a decarboxylation process. Hunts-Dicker reaction, name reaction, one very important name reaction. In this, carboxylate ion interacts with the first silver ion is formed. There is carboxylic acid on reaction with silver chloride. It gives Ag plus and RCO minus. So this is a carboxylate ion of silver salt. So this salt on reaction with bromine and carbon tetrachloride gives alkyl halide. RBr is the product. And said products are silver bromide and carbon dioxide is liberated. You can look at the mechanism of this Hunts-Dicker reaction. See this. This is RCOOAg, that is salt, silver salt, which first on reaction with bromine it forms, we are taking CCl4 just to avoid polarity. We don't want any polarity here. That's why we are using neutral or non-polar solvent. So when bromine is present, then what happens? Silver bromide is removed, and this bromine is attached to carboxylic acid. So this is a bromo carboxylate. Here it is further dissociated in such a way that the halides have the ability to form free radicals. Bromine is removed as free radical. Br radical is eliminated. And after elimination of Br radical, automatically oxygen gets one electron, single electron present on the carboxylic part. Here, at this level, R group is further eliminated and a homolytic dissociation takes place at this place where a single electron is on carbon, another single electron is on R group. Now the single electron on carbon is further converted into a bond because single electron carbon and oxygen has one single electron, so two electrons, it gives a pi bond. So now it is converted into CO2. So this portion is converted into CO2 by free radical mechanism. And what is left over? R radical and Br radical. These two combine to give RBr. So R radical is there, Br radical is there, and carbon dioxide is anyhow removed. And RBr, that is alkyl bromide, is the end product. So this process here, carboxylic acid is first converted into silver salt. After that, it is converted into alkyl halide by using carbon dioxide. This is the total reaction. Schmidt reaction is also a very important reaction, name reaction. Here also the process is decarboxylation, that is carbon dioxide is removed, elimination of carbon dioxide. Now what is the reaction? What is the reagent? What is the product? Here the reagent is azide and the product is amine, the two primary amine. Here carbon dioxide is eliminated. See here RCOOH, carboxylic acid, on reaction with N3H, that is azide, in presence of some acid, any acid group is there, and finally you get RNH2 as the product. That is from azide we are adding NH2 group to R group directly. So total CO2 is removed, carbon dioxide is removed. How this happens? Let us look at the mechanism. RCOOH First on reaction with H plus, this H2O is removed. This H2O, that is OH group part is removed as H2O. RCO plus, that is SCM cation is there. And to SCM cation, nitrogen is attached from other NH So N2 plus is there. So the N2 plus is lost. That is N2 plus is now converted to N2, and whatever there it is now converted into RNHCO. So this R group is migrated from R group is now migrating from carbon to nitrogen, and N2 is lost. So this bond is now shifted to NC, that is between nitrogen and carbon. So what happens? RNH plus is there, double bond CO. So this hydrogen is removed. RNCO. This is cyanate. This is RNCO cyanate. Alkyl isocyanate we can call. And this cyanate is very important, which further undergoes hydrolysis, so that hydrogens are attached to nitrogen and oxygens are attached to carbon, so that carbon dioxide is formed, which is eliminated further, and hydrogen is attached to nitrogen, so that RNH2 is eliminated further. So this is our interest. The final product is RNH2, that is primary amine. In Schmidt reaction, primary amine is the main product. Reagent is azide, hydrazide, we can call, and reaction is from carboxylic acid. Arnott ester synthesis. This is also one important reaction of carboxylic acids. Here, it is the conversion of carboxylic acid to higher carboxylic homologue. The very important point what we have to understand in this reaction is this reaction is used to increase one carbon in the carboxylic acid. That is, we are inserting one carbon in the chain of the carboxylic acid. That too, wherever there is COOH group is there, we are adding CH2 group, extra CH2 group on this. You look at the starting RCOOH is the starting molecule. Ending molecule C RCH2COOH. What is the difference? This CH2 is the extra. CH2 is the extra CH2 which has been added. So we are inserting CH2 group in the carboxylic acid. So this is what we call as higher homologue. Higher homologue means in the series it is the next homologue series with one carbon extra. And which is doing this part? It is diazomethane, CH2N2, diazomethane, from which CH2 group is inserted and N2 is lost, nitrogen is eliminated. So diazomethane is the key part here, which is adding one extra carbon to the carboxylic acid. So the starting metal is carboxylic acid, ending product is also carboxylic acid. With what is the difference there? The difference is only CH2 group is extra added to Arnott ester synthesis. This is what we call. Now let us look at the reaction altogether. Here the reaction is first carboxylic acid is converted into acid chloride. RCOOH is converted into RCOCl by using this reagent thionyl chloride SOCl. Thionyl chloride is the best reagent to convert acids into acid chlorides. And by this RCOCl is formed. To this diazomethane, that is diazo means two nitrogens, methane is CH2. So CH2N2 is diazomethane in ether. When this is added, then this is added to the carbon which is CO carbon, that is carbonyl carbon. So the chloride is removed. And this further reaction with the silver ions and hydrolysis is converted that is a here the migration takes place, and after migration N2 gas is eliminated and the remaining part, this is R group, is migrated to CH2 wherefrom it is converted into RCH2COOH. Let us look at the mechanism of this particular reaction. First step is conversion of carboxylic acid to acid chloride. So already we told that this is done by thionyl chloride, SOCl2. So from SOCl2, one chloride is attached to this and OH is attached to sulfur. So that is replacement type of reaction. The mechanism is like this. But after the formation of RCOCl, that is acid chloride, it's diazomethane, CH2 double bond N double bond N. So here the middle nitrogen is having plus charge, ending nitrogen is having minus charge. This is what type of resonance molecule. Diazomethane is a resonance molecule. See here, it undergoes resonance type reaction. Here CH2 minus N plus double bond N. So CH2 is now like a nucleophile. Okay. Now this nucleophile, which is actually to which uh, this carbonyl center is attached. So this minus charge attaches to this carbonyl. So what happens? CH2 is attached to this carbon and N2 plus is there. And when this comes back, oxygen double bond is coming back, chloride is removed. So RCOCH2 N2 plus and N2 is to be removed. So once N2 molecule is removed, this hydrogen is what given out there, and this leads to loss of N2. So RCOCH2 actually with two double bonds, and this is diazoketone. This most important point is here is diazoketone is the key intermediate, very important intermediate, which is formed by addition of diazomethane to acid chloride, where chloride is removed and the diazo group is attached. So this is called diazoketone. That too, the name is alpha diazoketone. Why it is called alpha diazoketone means diazo group is attached to the alpha carbon. Alpha with respect to keto. This is keto, and to this is alpha. It's alpha carbon, and to this alpha carbon diazo group is attached. So you can understand this. That's why it is called alpha diazoketone. And after this formation, this N2 group is eliminated. So once N2 group is eliminated, here there are two electrons remaining on the carbon. So this is called RCOCH with two electrons. And any carbon with two electrons is called carbene. That is a common we know. Any carbon with two electrons is called carbene. Now carbene is another intermediate. Okay. Diazoketone is one intermediate, carbene is another intermediate. And in this carbene, R group is migrating. This R alkyl group is now migrating to CH. And this two electrons are shifting to this place, that is between carbon and oxygen, carbon and carbon, that is carbonyl carbon and CH2. So what happens? Here it becomes double bond, and there is already double bond CO, and it's R, that is RCH double bond C double bond O. It's nothing but ketene. Okay, this is called ketene. RCH double bond C double bond O. Look at this. This is what we are talking. Ketene is formed. So once ketene is formed, then this is a very important intermediate. This can be converted into different forms. Okay, it is easily converted into different forms, but our interest is the main reaction of this reaction is again carboxylic acid only. That's why this is simply hydrolyzed. This on reaction with water is converted into RCH2COOH. That's it. RCH2COOH. So this is how we are adding one CH2 group to carboxylic acid, so that we are generating another carboxylic acid with one extra CH2 group. So it is this particular reaction is used to increase carbon number. The reagent is diazomethane. Now, this is one very important reaction called Hell-Walhard-Zelensky reaction, HVZ. This HVZ reaction is used to bromination or halogenation. Halogenation on a specific place, on a particular place. That place is called alpha hydrogen. So here you see this. This is alpha position to carboxylic group. This is carboxylic group. So this carboxylic group, this is alpha position. So on this alpha position, if there is alpha hydrogen, that hydrogen is replaced with bromine, for example. So with any halogen. So here what is happening? Alpha bromo carboxylic acid is the product. So there must be alpha position, and that alpha carbon must carry one alpha hydrogen, and that alpha hydrogen is replaced by a particular reagent to give alpha halo carboxylic acid. This reaction is known as HVZ reaction. What is the reagent? It is any halogen, specifically bromine with phosphorus. Okay, this is any halogen with phosphorus as a catalyst. Here, the reaction proceeds in a simple manner where alpha hydrogen is replaced or halogenated by phosphorus, so that alpha halo carboxylic acids are produced. That is very very important to understand. Where halogenation, but where the location, the position is very important. It is at alpha position only. Beta position it will not replace. So that is the main point what we have to understand. Look at the mechanism of this HVZ reaction. Bromine with phosphorus first gives PBr3, tribromophosphorus first is formed. This reacts with the carboxylic acid where hydrogen, this is OH group is removed and bromine is replaced there. So RCH2CO Br is formed. This is acid chloride, this acid bromide is formed, and to this acid bromide, uh, this further there is a migration of proton from here, that is alpha proton is migrated to oxygen, so that a enol is formed. This is keto enol tautomerism. See this is important. This is keto form, this is enol form, that is it's changing its form, that is the keto form is now converted into enol form. Here alpha proton is shifting from this carbon to this place, and that's why double bond is here. And this double bond bromine is attached to alpha position. So here is what is happening. What is happening? Bromine is attached to alpha position. So one bromo, another bromo, and after that, on further hydrolysis, you get R alpha bromo CO. This bromine is hydrolyzed to OH group, and that's why we got R CH2Br COOH. So this is a HVZ mechanism, Hell-Walhard-Zelensky mechanism. Now let us take up the derivatives part of carboxylic acids. We have different derivatives. There are acid chlorides, for example, RCOCl, acid anhydrides, RCOOs, COR, esters, RCOOR, amides, RCONH2. These are all different derivatives. Let us look at some of the reactions involving acid derivatives. For example, hydrolysis of acid halides. If you take acid halides, we simply hydrolyze it to give hydraulic carboxylic acids. All acid derivatives on hydrolysis give same carboxylic acid only. The mechanism is simple. H2O molecule attaches to carbonyl carbon, and after that chloride is removed, and after that the proton is removed, then we get RCOOH. Simply this chloride is replaced with OH, and this OH is through H2O molecule. So this is a simple mechanism. You can look at this way, how simply we can explain how acid chloride is hydrolyzed to give carboxylic acid. Similarly, acid chloride also reacts with amines. This is aminolysis. Aminolysis, nothing but amines are attached. That is, the acid chloride, the chlorides are replaced with ammonia or any aminic group, that is RNH2. So when it reacts with NH3 or RNH2 or R2NH, any of the group with one hydrogen at least, so HCl is removed. Same step of reaction. Nitrogen is giving electrons onto the carbonyl. Again, electron pair is shifting onto oxygen. That comes back, and chloride is removed. So this NH2 group is attached to this carbon, and this is further the proton is removed from NH2. So that HCl is removed anyhow. This hydrogen, this Cl is removed, and RNH is attached to this carbon. RCONHR. This is nothing but amide. Amides are formed. So acid chlorides on hydrolysis, ammonolysis give you amides. Next is anhydrides. What happens when anhydrides are hydrolyzed? You see anhydride structure RCOOCOR. Look at the structure very carefully. RCOOCOR. This is anhydride. On hydrolysis, what happens? Simple. It breaks into two carboxylic groups because this is formed by loss of water molecule. When two carboxylic groups are attached, this is formed. Now, when water is added, what happens? Simply it gives two carboxylic acids. That is, one is RCOOH, another is this RCOH. So two carboxylic acids are formed. So very simple reaction. So on attacking H2O on any of the carbonyl, and after that O minus comes back and this bond cleaves. That is, this bond either here or here bond cleaves, and this is converted into RCOO minus as RCOH, and this is RCOOH. Both RCOH groups are formed. So simply anhydride on hydrolysis gives you two molecules of carboxylic acids. In a similar way, if it reacts with amine also, this ammonolysis will give you same amide. That means just like water, here also it attaches to uh, but the only difference is here one part is converted into carboxylic acid and another part is converted into amide. In the previous case, it was both the carboxylic acids only. But in this case, one is carboxylic acid, another is amide. And of course, there is a possibility that after removal of carboxylic acid, this is further undergo reaction with this to give same amide again. That means two molecules of amide can also be generated. Look at the ester. Here, ester reaction ammonolysis. Let us take same process. When ammonolysis is taking place, same thing will happen. Here, ester means RCOOR. Look at the groups very carefully. RCOOR. So OR is replaced and RNH is coming and attached to here. Same. This hydrogen OR is removed as ROH, and to this carbon RNH group is attached. So RCONHR. So this is nothing but amide. The reaction proceeds same way, just like all the reactions are taking place. So anyhow, the reaction is same. What we have to understand is reaction process is same. But here the most important part of this reactions are very from examination point of view. You can understand the importance of ester hydrolysis. How esters are hydrolyzed? Ester is hydrolyzed in two ways. One is by using acid catalysis, that is acid as a catalyst, and also we can use base as catalyst. How the reaction proceeds in two different ways. Let us look at the acid catalyzed ester hydrolysis. Look at this. This is ester hydrolysis by using acid RCOOR dash. I am taking this, and we are taking acid. Once acid is taken, then what happens? Acid is attached to oxygen, carbonyl part of RCOH OR dash. Then what happens? Water molecule, that is H2O, is added here because it is hydrolysis part. Therefore, only water is added here, and this is now converted to OH. And this water molecule is added to carbon. So this carbon is now having OR dash already, R is there already, OH is now is there already. So newly H2O is added. Then this H2O loses one proton, and now what happened? R, OR dash, OH, OH. So how many groups are there? Four groups are there. OH, OR dash, OH. Now after this, what happens? You see this. This OH groups, it gives electron pair back, and this OR dash is removed because that is the hydrolyzed first. So OR dash is eliminated. Once this is giving back, then we get R, CO double bond here, and OH. OH group is there already, which is coming from water, isn't it? And this proton is removed by OR dash. OR dash is removed from here, from here. OR. This takes this H plus, and this is how we get RCO. So the whole process is similar. How it proceeds means, what we have to understand is that the first step, the difference is it is protonated. Ester is first is protonated by H plus. That is OH. This is how the first step. After that, the reaction is simple. As to what happening on this, and removal of OR minus, and after that proton is removed. First proton is attached to oxygen. So this is the first step, which is the main point of acid catalyzed mechanism. Look at the other way, base catalyzed mechanism. How this proceeds? The step 1 nucleophilic addition type reaction takes place, and in the step 2 elimination of OR dash takes place. Here, carboxylic acid formed during the reaction is deprotonated with alkoxide ion. Here, first OH minus. Base catalyzer means the reagent is base OH minus. This attaches to carbonyl carbon. In the previous case, acid proton is attached to oxygen, but here base is coming and attaches to carbonyl carbon. So what happens? RC, this OH is there, OR dash is already there, O minus, because once OH is coming, it becomes O minus. When minus charge coming back, OR minus is removed. So RCOOH. This is now simply the carboxylic acid which is formed. So simple steps. Nucleophile first attacking, that is nucleophilic addition, the first step. After the elimination of OR dash, simple. You get RCOOH as the carboxylic acid is the product. So simple way. In the previous case, H plus ion is first attached to oxygen. After that, water molecule has come and attached to this carbon. So that is how the reaction was proceeding. Protonation is the first step there. Nucleophilic addition is the first step in the base catalyzed reaction. This is the main difference between two reactions. See this. This is amides, which are dehydration of amides. This was important reaction. This is not similar. Amides are RCONH2. RCONH2 are amides. Now the most important point is H2 on this side, oxygen from here. So H2O, loss of H2O will lead to the formation of CN bond. That is RC triple bond N is formed. It is called cyanide or nitrile. So amides are converted into cyanides by loss of water, and this process is called dehydration. So amides are dehydrated by using any dehydrating agent, that means which can remove water. The reagents are thionyl chloride SOCl2 or phosphoryl chloride POCl3, or we can use phosphorus pentoxide P2O5. So these are the three important reagents which are used to eliminate water from amides. The reaction is like this. You can see here RCONH2 on further reaction with cyanide chloride will give you RC triple bond N, that is alkyl cyanide, and sulfur SO with this O is become SO2 and HCl is removed. And in the other case where amide on reaction with phosphoryl chloride PbOCl3 will be giving R cyanide, alkyl cyanide, EClO2 and HCl. Similarly, on the other hand, if you use phosphorus pentoxide, we get alkyl cyanide and H2O with P2O5. That is nothing but H2P2O6. It's a different temporary structure of phosphorus hydroxy group. Now, hydrolysis of amides. Anyhow, we know that on hydrolysis of amides, we get same product that the reaction may proceed with acid or with base. Two ways it can proceed, but anyhow, whatever the uh, group it is adding, whether with acid or base, the final compound is RCOOH. That is, the amide part is removed and it is replaced with OH, hydroxy group. Therefore, carboxylic acids are the main products formed on hydrolysis. So the main point what we have to understand here is we are discussing the derivatives. What are the derivatives? Acid chlorides, anhydrides, amides, and esters. So there are four important derivatives. We are discussing the hydrolysis and ammoanalysis. And commonly we should understand easily that hydrolysis of all derivatives give carboxylic acid as the end product. On ammoanalysis, the end product is amide. And in ester hydrolysis, we have two different mechanisms. It is initiated by acid, that is acid catalyzed ester uh, mechanism. Another is initiated by base, that is base catalyzed ester hydrolysis. So the two mechanisms are very very important. We need to write it down very carefully and should note down. And after that, the dehydration of amides we have discussed how dehydration takes place by using different reagents and how we get nitriles or cyanides as the end products. These are the derivatives of carboxylic acids. We have also discussed the different reactions, Hunts-Becker reaction, Schmidt reaction, and there are different reactions which are very very important name reactions of carboxylic acid. This is the end of carboxylic acids. Thank you.